there's a podcaster, comedian named Andrew Schultz, and he coined this term dunk culture, which is, he was talking to Mayor Adams from New York City. It feels like in politics, as a young person, I'm just looking at what's going on. It seems more of a system of we're scoring points against each other, and it's not like we're working together to fix things as public servants. And I know Delaware, we haven't had a Republican governor since '93, I believe.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And I feel like maybe, do you have a message to try and bridge that gap so it doesn't feel like it's a point scoring system? Because it really does, from my perspective, feel like these two are just fighting, and there's not, like, we need to bridge the gap, especially, I mean, in Delaware, for those who maybe don't feel heard. Yeah. Do you see that in Delaware? Do you see that in this country?
I guess I'm on the podcast and I got my ticket by winning a governor's election. Before that, I was a county executive, as you know, Andres. Most people don't know what a county executive is. I was a school teacher 8 years ago, got elected county executive, and I joke after I won, and this really happened, there was a group of people that really supported me, that contributed money, that knocked on doors for me, and they brought me, it was a women's business association, and they brought me into a room with like 25 people, some of my strongest supporters after I won, and I walk in the room and they give me a standing ovation. Then I give a little talk to them, and at the end I'm like, do you guys have any questions? And one of the people is like, what is a county executive? Right? And everybody's like, yeah, what do you actually do? Right? And what a county executive did, one of my most important responsibilities was making sure our sewers worked. I had to make sure I had to make sure people's toilets flushed, right? I learned, and this is at a time, the same day I was elected county executive, President Trump was elected to his first term. And the country was split apart like I'd never seen in my life. But I learned pretty quickly, there might be a MAGA supporter out there, and if there's sewage leaking into his basement and I can stop that, that MAGA supporter is going to be a Matt Meyer supporter. And there might be someone who completely couldn't stand Donald Trump. And if their toilet didn't flush and it was Matt Meyer's fault, that person was never supporting me. So I feel like my education is in that very, very basic, small d democratic government where you got to respond to constituents. And actually, that's most of what elected officials around the country are doing. You turn on the TV and you think it's just tit for tat, everything. Most of what I do in my life in my professional life, is I'm trying to deliver for Delawareans in very basic ways. We, in our recent budget, didn't get much news coverage, but we increased dramatically paramedic funding in our state to make sure paramedics can respond quicker and with the latest, greatest technology to save people's lives. That's not a Republican Delawarean they're going to, or a Democratic Delawarean to save their life. It's basic service and basic efficient government service. So Andres, I hear what you're saying. When you turn on the TV, when you read the news, I get as discouraged as everyone. This country was created as this incredible dream. Like, it's hard to imagine changing the whole system of government in the face of English monarchy and oppression, people's lives being threatened. And it was based on this dream that government can really work for the people. And it's not a democratic system or a Republican system. It's all of us working together to make a republic that works.